All right, the back side of our stats probabilities review, it says for all probabilities, show your work, round your decimal answers to 3 decimal places and percent answers to 1 decimal place. All right, so question number 3 says you have a jar and it has the following objects: 10 blue marbles, 3 blue dice, 4 red marbles, 2 red dice, 9 green marbles, and 7 green dice. And there are 35 total objects. So we've already had these added up, and we know there are 35 objects in the bag. First question, what is the probability of choosing a blue object? So all we're going to do through each of these questions is count up the number of things that make us happy and divide it by the total number of things. So what is the probability of choosing a blue object? By the way, if it doesn't specify how many times you do the experiment, then we assume it's only one time. So what's the probability of reaching in this jar and one time only and choosing a blue object? Well, I've gone ahead and just totaled or wrote out a table on the side here that we can use as we scroll through. How many of these objects are blue? So we're looking for blue object. We've got 10 blue marbles and 3 blue dice. That means 10 plus 3 things make us happy. So 13 things make us happy out of a total of 35 things. That's going to be 0.371. And I'm going to go ahead and let you write it as a percent, which actually, you know what, let's do the first couple. 37.1%. I would suggest you try all of these questions before you check the answers and then listen to the video if you made a mistake on them, rather than just copy the answers. I think you won't learn much if you just copy the answers. All right, next one. What is the probability of choosing a blue die or a green marble? Now, or means that either one is going to make me happy. If I picked up a blue die, I'm happy. If I picked up a green marble, it's going to make me happy. Well, I've got 3 blue dice, so 3 things make me happy. And then I want a also green marble, so I've got 9 green marbles. And there's no overlap. You can't be a blue die and a green marble. You can't be blue and green. Can't be a die and a marble. There's no overlap here. So we've got actually 12 objects that make us happy out of a total of 35. And that's going to be 0.343, and that's 34.3%. Make sure you round correctly on the test or you will be graded off for that. All right, next one. What is the probability of choosing a red object or a marble? Well, let's take a look. If we pick a red object, we could also get a red marble in here, and so we have some objects in the jar that can be red and a marble, and that means we have to get rid of those. So remember our probabilities. We're going to get the probability of picking something red plus the probability of picking a marble, and then we're going to subtract the probability of picking red and a marble. So if we look at this probability of picking something red, we've got red marble, red dice. We've got 6 things that are red. We're going to add to that total marbles. 10 plus 4 plus 9. That's 14 plus 9, which is 23. So there are 23 marbles in the bag. And then we got to get rid of anything that could be red and a marble. So we've got 4 red marbles. We're going to subtract 4 here. So 6 plus 23 minus 4 equals 25. So our probability is going to be 25 out of 35. And that's going to be 0. It looks like a 6. Let's change that to a 0. 0.714 or 71.4%. Remember, to get from decimal to percent, you just multiply the decimal answer by 100. All right, Let's move up so we see the next chart. What is the probability of choosing a red die, returning it, which is very important. We're putting it back in the bag, so the probabilities aren't changing. And then we're going to choose a red object. So we're going to reach in the bag, grab a red die. Well, there's 2 red dice out of 35. Then we're going to put it back. That means our second fraction is still going to be over 35. And the question is, how many things in the bag are red objects? Well, we've got 4 red marbles and 2 red dice, so that's 6. 6 red objects. So we've got 2 over 35 times 6 over 35, and that's going to be 12. So we got to multiply this together, by the way. Choosing a red die, returning it, and then choosing a red object. So 2 times 6 is 12. Let's do 35 times 35. That's equal to 1225. So our probability here is 12 over 1225. So 12 divided by, I'll work this out, whoops. 12 divided by 1225 equals 0.0097. Now if we round this to 3 decimals, this 7 is going to kick the 9 up. Well, it can't go up without changing to 0. So this is actually 0.010. 0.010. So let's look at that one more time. 0.010. So 0.010. And if you remember, class, got to be careful about this. We're going to move the decimal over 2 places, and that's going to give us 1. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to be 1.0%. So 1% chance. Pretty low probability. This is an easy one for students to write 10%, so be careful of that one. All right, let's take a look at the next one. If you choose 2 objects in a row and do not or did not return them, so we're not returning them, that means we have dependent events. So the probability is going to change. We're going to lose objects as we pull them out. What is the probability they would both be blue? So let's take a look at our first round. In our first round, we've got 10 plus 3. We've got 13 blue marbles. 13 blue objects out of a total of 35. And then we know that's gone now. That means our next fraction is going to be over 34. And let's take a look. What is the probability they would both be blue? Well, if we pulled out a blue one the first time, that means the second time around we have 1 less blue object. So now we've got only 12 objects left. So let's go ahead and check this out. 13 times 12 is equal to 156. And 35 times 34 is 1190. So our fraction is 156 over 1190. And that is 0.131, which is 13.1%. All right, last one in this column. If you choose 3 objects in a row, so 3 objects in a row, and did not return any, so 3. This one, remember there's 2, so 3 objects in a row and did not return any, that means we have dependent probability. What is the probability they are all marbles? Well, let's take a look at our first round. In our first round, we've got 10, 4, and 9, so 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So we've got 23 marbles out of 35. In our next round, we don't put the marble back, so we've got 34, and we only now have, if we already picked a marble the first time, we only have 22 left. And then the next pick, our third pick, we have 33 left in the bag, and only 21 are marbles. So each time we pick something, our probability is changing. 23 times 21, sorry, 23 times 22 times 21 is 10,626. And 35 times 34 times 33 is 39,270. Let's put that in our calculator. Oh, let's write our fraction here. 10,626 divided by 39,270. Let's go ahead and do that math. 10,626 divided by 39,270. I missed something here. 270. Looks good. Press equal. We've got 0.2705. Well, the 5 is going to kick that up to a 1, so 0.271. 0.271, which is 27.1%. That takes care of the jar of objects, question number 3.